Hey, what's up you guys? It's Zach with PCBros. Today I'm going to show you some of the most common PC problems we see here at PCBros from our customers, and we're going to show you how to fix them as well. So I'm going to break this video down in 3 separate sections. 1, display issues. 2, power issues. And 3, software and other issues. So feel free to skip to wherever you need in the video to help you most. Let's get right into it. So the most common display issues that we see at PCBros are pretty easily testable and don't require a lot of unplugging. Some of the most common causes for these problems include bad RAM, GPU issues, or the display plugged in to the wrong place. So let me first show you where to plug in the display. So we see this one more often than you might think. This problem mainly comes from PCs with GPUs. So if you have an APU or anything like that, then this problem shouldn't affect you. So on the motherboard, you're going to see the motherboard has display options, but if you are running with a GPU, you are going to want to plug in the display adapter into the GPU to make it work, unless you have integrated graphics or something like that. So the common issue we see is that people are plugging their display cables into the motherboard when they have a GPU. This will cause the PC to not display at all and will make it seem like some bigger issue is going on. So this is a very easy fix, and even happens to some of us sometimes when we're going quick, and it should be an instant fix. Another common display issue could be caused from the RAM. Now that does sound a little bit weird, but if the RAM is bad, then you'll get no display. To test this, we're going to need to learn how to reseat RAM. So let me show you how to do it here. When reseating RAM, make sure you do put on gloves to make sure that the oils on your hands aren't messing up any other parts of the computer. So one stick at a time, we're going to take each of the clips, pushing each back till you hear a click, and carefully pulling that RAM out of the slot. Now let's repeat that process to however many RAM sticks that you have. Once we have all the RAM out, we're going to reseat it, put it back in. So when you put the RAM back in, it can only go one way. Check the notch on your RAM and make sure it matches up with the notch in the motherboard. If this still doesn't work, let's move on to reseating the GPU. Now this is a very similar process to the RAM, but it takes a few extra steps. So first, most motherboards, especially on more modern PCs, will require screws on the case to stay in. So make sure you unscrew all the screws before removing. Once the screws are removed, and before removing the GPU, make sure you remove the PCIe cable from the GPU. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a wiggle to get it out, but don't force it. You don't want to use too much power. Once the GPU is completely removed, you can check the motherboard slot to see if there's any dust or any debris in there causing a poor connection. To put it back in, you do a pretty similar process to that RAM. You make sure that everything is lined in properly and push down till you hear a click. Make sure you get those screws back on too, and don't forget about the PCIe cable. Power supply issues with computers can be some of the most frustrating because your computer won't turn on at all and you have no clue why. Here's a few common things that could help in this situation. So we have the 12-pin connector on the motherboard as well as the CPU connector on the top left. We're going to make sure these are plugged in all the way and reseat them. They do have clips on them, so make sure you squeeze and pull that clip. And sometimes it takes a little bit of wiggle to get those cables unplugged from the motherboard. Again, you don't want to use too much force. Once they are unplugged, carefully reseat them and make sure you hear that click on both of the cables. Try powering it back on and see if that worked. If this didn't work, there might be a more serious issue with the power supply. So we're gonna test the power supply with the plastic power supply testers that come with most power supplies. Before we do anything, make sure your PC is powered off. This little tool is very nifty and very easy to use. We're gonna take that 12-pin connector and unplug it from the motherboard. We're going to take the power supply tester and connect it to that pin. Once it is connected, power your PC back on and see if that works. If it works, it means the power supply is not the issue, and it might be the graphics card, could be the RAM, and would need further troubleshooting. But if it doesn't work, then you're looking at a bad power supply, which is never fun. Some other common PC issues we see at PCBros involve the PC just overall not running well. And if you're not sure why, here are some common solutions. Number one, device manager is not updated. There are still some drivers that need to be downloaded. So if you type in device manager in the search bar on the bottom left, you'll see all of the devices. You'll see this pop up. If your device manager is filled with warning messages that drivers aren't installed, it's a good sign that that could be causing a problem. So there's a few ways to get these to go away. One way is to make sure all your Windows updates are done. This should get rid of most of them and is one of the easiest ways to try. If this doesn't get rid of all of them, we're going to go on the motherboard website. So this is the motherboard that this PC uses. I'm going to type that in and then type in drivers. It should usually be that first search. You click on it, go to support, which is usually at the very bottom, and then go to drivers. Make sure you are downloading the drivers for whatever Windows that you have. For this one, this is Windows 10 Pro, and it'll give us a list of possible drivers that we can download for this motherboard. Now, here are some drivers you want to look out for and download that will most of the time get rid of anything left in Device Manager. If your drivers are up to date, and you also have the graphics drivers downloaded as well for whatever GPU you have, AMD or NVIDIA, then you might have a more serious problem. Luckily, there's a pretty simple thing that we can try that might fix it. So for the last resort option, we're going to go to search and type in CMD to open command prompt, and you're going to right click and then click run as administrator. This will bring up this black box where we can give the command /scan now. This will scan through all the files on your computer to find any that could possibly be corrupt, and it'll let you know and even fix it for you if it is corrupt. This usually fixes any weird software issues that we have that we just can't explain or can't really find other answers to, and this is a good simple last resort option. I hope this video helped and had something in here for everybody. We do have a full-time support team at PCBros that you are more than welcome to reach out to if you have a more advanced issue that we can help with. You can DM us on Instagram, Facebook, any of the social medias, or even call us. Our customer support person, Jake, would be happy to help. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.